What how's it going on, Mark Duffy? Welcome to my channel. On today's episode, I'm going to be talking to you about these two lenses. We've got the Sirui 16 f1.2 and the 75mm f1.2. Full disclosure, I do get to keep these and they have no impact on what I'm about to say. Let's start off with acknowledging I do not own an APS-C camera, so I had to use APS-C mode in my Sony a7 IV, which is pretty cool, the fact that you can use APS-C lenses on a full frame camera. I was interested in seeing how that would work out. I do think that had some issues with a certain few things that we will get to in the video. But if we look at these lenses, they're quite nice little lenses offering a huge amount of light with f1.2 aperture range. That is incredible, and it's one thing I miss from when I used to shoot with Fuji. You could get f1.2 lenses. There's not many f1.2 lenses available on the Sony range currently, but like you can see, I've got two completely separate colors on these lenses. There's actually three colors available. Right here on the 16mm is black, and then on the 75 is white, and then there is also a silver. Now, I have to say, the finish on these is absolutely lovely, but I would actually personally prefer the white. It feels metallic, while like it has this lovely metallic paint finish, lovely shine to it. It just screams premium on it. While on the black, which isn't actually black, it's closer to grey. I actually had to look at the colours to make sure I had this right. This is listed as black, and I would consider it grey. I do like the carbon fibre type finish, and carbon fibre is pretty much plastic, so it has a plastic finish to it. If I'm rating how these look, I much prefer the look of the white. The entire finish on it is much nicer looking in my eyes. Even the crest with the Sirui is much more premium feeling. It's a lot more subdued with it. So if you do want to blend in, considering that these are called sniper lenses, I love the name. If you do want to blend into the crowd, maybe consider getting the black. The silver and the white are not going to suit you for that. So apart from the finish and that, the build quality on these lenses is what you'd expect from Sirui, really top end, you know, exactly what you'd expect on it. So if we go to design wise, very minimal design. So it's already going to come up with one con that I always have with minimal designs. There is no autofocus manual focus button on this, which means you have to have a custom button set up on your camera. It's my bone of contention with any lens that has this. There's no reason why, where it says AF APS-C, there couldn't be a switch there. And especially on the 75mm, there's definitely room that there could have been. That's going to be a con from my side of things on the design, is that there is no button. You need it on your camera, so you need to set up a custom button for that. The look and feel of it, lovely. The blue line, very nice damped feeling on the focus ring, and that goes for both lenses. Really nice to use. There's a nice grippy feel to it as well. Smooth. It's not. It's I would think actually. No, I'm about to say them. Yeah, they're fairly loose. They're not overly tight. You don't have to fight it or anything out there, you know. If we come to the 16mm, you will notice that it is absolutely tiny. So this is given a 24mm field of view equivalence in full frame terms. So the tread size on this is small, 58mm. So you will need adapters, even if you're using something like a H&Y Revo ring with a threaded front. You're still going to need an adapter because this is 67 to 82. So you will need some sort of step up ring to at least get you into that range to then work with the H&Ys. If we look at the 75mm, the front of it, like, look at it, it's just gorgeous. Look at that. That is just gorgeous. And it's big. It's nice, decent size, not huge. 67. It's, you know, I think 67mm in the last number of years has become pretty much standard across so many lenses. And I would love to see a lot more lenses kind of fall in line if they can. Again, I don't design lenses. If we look to the back of the lenses is quite different. This has a circle while this one has a square. Not sure if that actually impacts on the image quality or the bokeh or anything like that there. You see it across different lenses, but yeah, just one thing I noticed when I took the back off, that On the Sony stuff, it's quite common to see the rectangle on the back. It's not as common to see the circle these days. Also on the back of these is a USB port, so you can plug it into your computer and you can do the upgrades that you need to do when and if there are firmware updates needed for these lenses. So in terms of performance, these are sharp lenses, and the ability to open up to f1.2 means that you can go into low light situations, or especially like for event photography. This is really cool. Have it at f1.2. Yes, you're not getting the bokeh that you would get on an f1.2 in full frame, but at least you're getting that amount of light in. For autofocus, I found the 75mm was absolutely fantastic. It worked fluidly with my A7 IV. I had no issues at all with autofocus. I got the results I wanted. The 16mm, on the other hand, I have had a number of different issues over the last while. I actually took this as my only wide angle lens on a commercial shoot, and I regretted it because the autofocus wouldn't work. Even though we were in quite a bright scenario, the autofocus just would not. It just wouldn't at all. I wasn't within minimum distance. The minimum distance, I actually don't know what the minimum distance is on either of these. I reckon it's close to a meter on the 75, probably about 2 3/4 feet, something in around that. It's not full a meter, it's just short of a meter. Kind of standard with a lot of other lenses as well. The 16mm is a lot closer, and I wasn't within it, and I still couldn't get it to focus. I actually had to manually focus the lens. And the problem is, when you're photographing a client who's not overly comfortable in front of the camera, which most of them aren't, you don't want stuff like this to go wrong, so I switching to manual focus and getting her just to stay a little bit still. I was documenting how she creates her products. I didn't boast a lot of confidence in it, but I still got the shot regardless. And I wasn't even shooting. I don't even think I was shooting wide open on the photos. So why it wasn't able to focus, and I had problems throughout the entire shoot. Just when I really did need the lens to perform for me, I was wishing I had brought something else with me. That's the only con I could find on this, and I think it may come down to the fact that maybe the autofocus has been designed more for APS-C than full frame. I don't fully know. I haven't spoken to Sirui on it. These are just literally the findings that I've had from using the camera in a real world situation. And finally, we come to price, and these two lenses on Amazon are priced at exactly the same price of €350. So that is like if you're a Fuji user or an APS-C Sony user, like, you can get f1.2 for less than €400. For less than €800, you can have two lenses. That is, that's incredible. And I do reckon the autofocus problems I have with the 16mm were because it's on full frame. I reckon that was probably the issue. So yeah, they're really good prices, and I personally would go for the white finish. Looks nicer. Anyway, I hope you liked this. Hope you got something from it. If you did, give the video a like and maybe subscribe to the channel and ring that bell to get notified every time I post up a new video. Find me on all the social medias under Mark Duffy Photography. And until the next time, later gators.